Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beth. And for today's video, I'm very excited to talk about the recently announced Allure Best of Beauty Awards for 2023. So it's Thursday evening as I'm filming this, and they just announced the winners this morning. So I thought it would be fun just to kind of go through all of the different categories and I guess tell you what I've tried, what I haven't tried, and what I think about their choices. So I will have timestamps down below if you'd like to skip ahead to any particular category, and I will link all of the kind of different categories in the description box if you'd like to follow along at home. But if that all sounds good to you, please make sure to like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I just scooted over just a little bit so I can insert some pictures, and I guess I'll just say at the outset, I should have said this in the introduction, but I always find the winners of the Allure Best of Beauty Awards to be interesting because Allure and magazines in general, it's kind of legacy media. It's how we kind of consumed beauty content before YouTube and TikTok and all of that. So I just find it interesting to kind of see where their head is at when it comes to this kind of thing. So the first category here is skincare. I have tried a couple of these items. The first one that I wanted to talk about, they have it as, I guess, best face peel, which I think is a bit misleading, and I'll explain why. But it's the Drunk Elephant Bouncy Bright Facial. It retails for $68, and they say that a weekly application of Drunk Elephant Bouncy Bright Facial keeps dullness at bay thanks to an exfoliating cocktail of azelaic and salicylic acids. So I have a little sample here that I have tried a few times, and it has 10% azelaic acid, which I think a lot of over-the-counter brands have a 10% azelaic acid product, but it also has 1% salicylic acid, so it ups the kind of salicylic acid component a little bit. I do like this product. I have thought about purchasing a full size. In fact, Drunk Elephant has started to put out their holiday kind of value kits, and there's one with this product, the baby facial, and the whatever their like F-balm facial is, which is basically a hydrating kind of product. But anyway, yeah, I have thought about getting that. So that is the kind of texture, consistency of the product. I do like incorporating an azelaic acid product. It helps with like fading discoloration. It's also supposed to help with rosacea, and I have noticed I get those little like rosacea bumps and I get redness on my cheeks and everything like that. So I do like to use an azelaic acid product. My go-to currently is the Paula's Choice, which is also 10% azelaic acid, but it has a, I think, 0.5% salicylic acid. So if you, I guess, want something that is a little bit more of a daily product, it all depends on kind of your skin type and your sensitivities, but that one has a lower percentage of salicylic acid. And there are also a lot of products on the market that just have azelaic acid. They don't have any salicylic acid if that is a ingredient of concern to you. But yeah, from time to time, I do like going in with a heavier dose of salicylic acid. Helps to kind of unclog pores, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's a good product, and I have contemplated purchasing a full size, or I guess trying it out in a bigger size anyway. And the last product, or the only other product I guess that I really wanted to touch on, if I haven't tried any products that I do want to try for any reason, I'll try to call those out as well. So for best face moisturizer balm in a tub, they specify the kind of delivery mechanism. They have the kind of classic Aquaphor. So this they have retails for $20 at Amazon. It looks like they selected the 14-ounce size. This is just 3.5 ounces, which for my purposes is kind of a plenty big jar. But they say a tub of Aquaphor seems to last forever. So I do actually need to, I think, replace this because it does have an expiration date, and it says it was June of 2022. I don't get too kind of hung up on that because I think this is mostly petrolatum, so I'm not too, concerned about it. But it says 1 dab of this classic salve tames dry patches and peeling lips. and at Allure HQ, sometimes Rogue Brow Hairs. So I've never, I don't think, used this in my brows, but I do kind of keep this as like a go-to lip balm. It just, you know, kind of has the consistency of like Vaseline. I'm sure most people have used Aquaphor at some point or other. But yeah, I use this on my lips a lot. I'll dab it on like any patches of eczema that I have, like on my eyelids, that kind of thing. So it's just a good kind of all-purpose, really like sensitive skin friendly kind of product. It says on the back here, trusted by dermatologists and pediatricians, Aquaphor Healing Ointment provides the effective care that your very dry, chapped, or irritated skin needs. Specially formulated to be free of fragrances, dyes, and preservatives to provide safe and gentle care for sensitive skin. So that's kind of a must in my skincare routine. So I think that's all I really wanted to talk about when it comes to skincare. For hair care, I haven't tried a lot of these products. They have like the Olaplex dry shampoo. I'm not a huge dry shampoo person. I did try, however, today, or tried again, I should say, the Color Wow Extra Large Bombshell Voluminizer. This is the best, I guess, hair voluminizer. And they say it is free of alcohol and sticky fixatives. Color Wow Extra Large Bombshell Voluminizer is that rare mousse that melts into hair, delivering root to tip fullness you can run your fingers through. And it looks like this retails for about $26. So not a terrible price. And they also, I think, have a travel size if you just want to try it out. So as I mentioned, I did use it today, and I probably did my hair maybe 2 hours ago. I used the Dyson Airwrap, which I'll talk about later. But anyway, what I did today after I got out of the shower is I used the Briogeo leave-in, the green one, and then I used this, and then I did the Airwrap. So that was it as far as hair products go. And I just kind of wanted to show you the consistency. It's very foamy. If you're a baker, it almost kind of has the consistency of like egg whites. And I think I have to get rid of this now. So I think I used about 2 pumps on each side of my head, and then I think I just kind of ran what was ever left on my hands throughout the kind of top portion. So on the bottle here it says, our proprietary formula is not a cream, not a gel. It contains no waxes, brittle polymers, or alcohol typically found in thickening products. This high-tech formula utilizes a completely new inflatable molecular chain technology that creates weightless bulk. It is reinforced with a strengthening bamboo extract. Hair looks thick, voluminous, feels naked and sexy. And I think you can use that either blow drying or just letting your hair air dry. As you know, if you watch my channel, I typically just let my hair air dry because I'm lazy. But I did put a headband in. You know, I think, have a decent amount of hair and it's naturally wavy, which helps with the overall volume as well. But I think it definitely does work. It's not a product I reach for that often because it's just not a style I'm typically kind of looking for. But if you do have fine hair and you want to add some extra volume, I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it might help a little bit with the hold as well. Like, I didn't use any hairspray or anything today, and I think for the Dyson Airwrap, I think, you know, the curls and everything are still pretty much there, so it could help with that, but I don't think it advertises as doing that, so that might just be my kind of anecdotal impressions. They have the Jisoo honey infused hair oil. I think I have a sample of that, but I haven't really tried it. I don't really use hair oils all that often. They have a heat protectant, the Bumble and Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil Primer. That's been a favorite, I think, of a lot of people for a while now. Yeah, I think that was it as far as like hair care products that I feel like I can speak to, and I don't think there was anything in this category that I especially wanted to try either. With the possible exception of the Hair Gloss CP Hue Glossy Glaze. That one is supposed to kind of give like a light kind of tint and shine to your hair, I believe. All right, so moving on to Splurges. I'm just kind of going in order of how they have their website, which doesn't necessarily make the most sense, but there we are. Okay, so for Splurges, we have some Christian Dior serum, some Chanel moisturizer, I'm guessing. So under the best splurges for hair care and accessories, they do have the Dyson Airwrap Multi-Styler. And they say that we challenge you to find an Allure editor who doesn't have the Dyson Airwrap Multi-Styler in their bathroom. You will not succeed. Even Associate Entertainment Editor Eugene Shevertalov swears by it to get extra volume in his short hair. With an arsenal of attachments for creating sleek, wavy, or curly styles without frying your hair, this tool compensates for all manner of terrible techniques and fills a real white space. I've been lobbying blow dryer brands for years to make a comb attachment for thick, kinky hair. Dyson finally did it and did it so well, says Editor-in-Chief Jessica Krull, who also uses the round brush attachment around her hairline and the various barrel sizes for waves. The Dyson Airwrap is obviously an investment. I don't need to sell it to you because the internet has been doing that for years now, but I did purchase it, was it earlier this year or last year? It might have been earlier this year. So I will say that I don't think I've used it quite as much as I thought I would, but that's just because typically I let my hair air dry, and especially like over the summer months, because I do have wavy hair, like it gets really frizzy in the humidity and it's just not worth fighting the humidity to get kind of a blown out style. But it's the one hair tool that I use pretty much. So I do have the Dyson blow dryer and I haven't reached for that. I just use the blow dryer attachment on the Airwrap. If you don't want to use any of the other tools associated with the Airwrap, you probably would just go for the blow dryer or a different blow dryer. Because I think the blow dryer by itself is more powerful and you'll probably get just a better like blow dried result with a round brush or whatever. But if you are interested in all of the different options that are available with the Airwrap, like today I think I used the kind of blow dryer attachment. I blow dried my hair upside down to kind of help with the volume, and it has that kind of smoothing feature. I will say that I am glad that I waited, I guess, to get the second generation because I do think they made a lot of improvements that make it a lot more user-friendly. So I really do like that smoothing attachment. I use the brush with the bristles on it to kind of get some initial drawing, kind of straightening out on my wavy hair. And I also, I think, used it around my hairline, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, I used the kind of traditional Airwrap barrels for the waves. And you know, I would say I'm kind of like adequately skilled with hair. I'm not like a hair expert or hairstylist, anything like that. But I do like being able to get a result like this without having to use a hot tool. It's easier with the Dyson. And so I think I used it before I went to like my friend's wedding in May. So I like being able to reach for it on those occasions and yeah, just have like the regular kind of blow dryer functionality as well with just like one kind of box in my bathroom. So for me, it's been worth it. I did almost purchase the Air Straight just because I'm really curious, but to be honest, I don't really like my hair super straight like that. Like I do have a hair straightener, but I hardly ever reach for it. I like having a little bit more kind of body and volume in my hair. So the only reason I almost got the Air Straight was because Ulta had a 20% off code on hair tools that included Dyson, and I think I had enough points so that it would only be like $150 out of pocket with the 20% off. So I almost caved and bought it, but you know, the 11th hour when I was trying to purchase the code, the coupon, whatever, wasn't working. So I don't know. It's probably a blessing in disguise. But yeah, if you are going to shell out that kind of money, I think the Airwrap gives you the best value. Unless you just like your hair straight every day or you just want kind of a blow dryer. So for me, it has been a worthwhile investment. We also have the K18 Molecular Repair Hair Oil. Haven't tried that, but I have tried K18 and I do enjoy it. I would be open to trying the hair oil, but I would probably, I don't know, wait for a sample or something like that. So going on to the best splurges in makeup category, We have the YSL Beauty Lash Clash Extreme Volumizing Mascara. Typically, I just use the Tarte Lights Camera Splashes. You all know that's my holy grail. But sometimes, you know, a new mascara comes to my attention that I want to try. This one isn't waterproof, but I'm still intrigued by it. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it. I think the tube is really sophisticated looking. That retails for $29. I think I might try to pick that up during the Sephora sale. I mean, that would make it at least a little bit more palatable, I guess. So Allure says that the tip of the YSL Beauty Lash Clash, these names are too long, Lash Clash Extreme Volumizing Mascara's conical brush helps to reach tiny inner corner lashes while the highly pigmented formula delivers intensity and density. But the real kicker is the addition of Iris Florentina extract, which keeps lashes supple and fluttery once you wash everything off. I don't know that I care about that, but yeah, I'm just intrigued. I like a volumizing formula, but I typically reach for a waterproof formula because it helps keep the curl lifted. I'm a little worried that if it's too conditioning, if it's too wet, you know, then the lashes can kind of lose their curl, and we will talk about some lash curlers later on. The conical brush, like I like, for the millionth time, the Lights Camera Splashes because it is a natural brush, but it's also very narrow. It's very narrow. So, especially if you have hooded eyes that are more difficult to get into, I find that this is just a little bit easier. You're not trying to stick a huge wand in your eyeball kind of thing. So that is why I like that product. We have a Tom Ford Eye Color Quad Eyeshadow Palette in Cherry Smoke. I've never, I don't think, tried a Tom Ford Quad. Some Hermes, some Guerlain. So this Bloom Effects Royal Tulip Petal Polish, I have gotten some PR from Bloom Effects in the past, but I haven't tried that one. It says it has sea salt crystals, alpha hydroxy acids, and pomegranate enzymes. I would be interested in trying that one. The Osea Bath Oil. So I guess you just pour it in the bath. I don't really care for their like body oil because I just find that it's a little bit messy. This Perfume Head, ooh, that is expensive, $425. They say that it has notes of tobacco, whiskey, and suede. There are limits to, I guess, what I will pay on things. So, okay, so that is it for Splurges. And then going on to tools. So this is tools for hair, makeup, and skin. So the first product, so this is the Say Fluffy Brush. It retails for about $26. They say that it has a tapered tip that picks up just the right amount of powder and densely packed bristles to flawlessly diffuse it into every nook and cranny. And one of the editors says, I can get super close to the corners of my under eyes without causing creasing or buildup. So I do like this brush, but I don't reach for it that often, actually. It's decently soft. It's not like the softest brush I've ever tried. I believe this is all synthetic, and that is kind of how it looks under the under eye. So it is, you know, kind of a little dense brush. So the reason I don't reach for this one too much is just because the handle is very like chubby. To compare it to the e.l.f. one I always reach for, the e.l.f. one just fits in like my brush cup easier, and I don't feel like I'm like taking up so much room. I guess if you wanted to, you could stand it up on a vanity or whatever. So if you like that kind of functionality, it has a flat bottom, but yeah, I like it. I don't love it. I do have a Say video planned, so I'll use that again in that video, but yeah, it's just okay for me, I guess. We also have from Patrick Ta the Major Sculpt dual-ended sculpting brush. So I think it's a version of this brush, but with a different end to it. And that brush retails for $45. I want to say this one was cheaper. This was also a Allure Best of Beauty Award winner one year. And this is the For Contour brush, by the way. Yeah, I like reaching for this sometimes to kind of, you know, stamp in a cream contour. I just don't really love dual-sided brushes. That's just like a personal preference of mine that I don't really enjoy using those. From Sephora collection for bronzer brushes, we have the number 88 brush, which looks like a really kind of dense kabuki style brush. I would be interested in trying that. That retails for $34, and I think Sephora might be doing some bonus points or something on their Sephora collection products. And during their savings event sales, they typically, I think, offer 30% off on Sephora collection to all members. You don't have to be a Rouge. Even if you are a Beauty Insider, I think you can get 30% off. So I usually try to, I guess, reserve my Sephora collection purchases for that time. There's also a little brow set from Real Techniques that looks kind of interesting. It has like the kind of laminating applicator and some different kind of spoolies and brushes, it looks like, so that's kind of interesting. This Half Magic Pyramid eyeshadow brush also looks kind of interesting. Of course, we have the traditional beauty blender that's probably won tenfold over by now. I do like a beauty blender. This one that I have is dirty. It's the, I think, blush one. And I did pick up the Pro version during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. So that's just the black one. But I do like a beauty blender. I usually don't pay full price for them. I pick them up when they're on sale. Tweezermans, if you've never tried Tweezerman tweezers, highly recommend. They're really the only ones I reach for. The ones they have here kind of look like these ones that I have. So I don't know what it is about them. They're like sharper and they're just better than any other tweezers on the market. They say that it is not a stretch to dub Tweezerman Slant Tweezer the greatest of all time. Cut to its previous 24 Best of Beauty wins. And just looking back at the Beauty Blender, they say that it's a sweep. Beauty Blender Original Pink Makeup Sponge wins this title every year for good reason. So yeah, they have some things that just kind of win year after year. For the best skincare tools and devices, we have the Dr. Dennis Gross Skincare, I don't know how you say this, Dr. X Spectral Light Facewear Pro. So they say, let people crack all of the Hannibal Lecter jokes they want to, and they will want to, because the Dr. Dennis Gross blah 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 is a full face contraption that shines UV-free LED lights on your skin, taming acne, calming inflammation, and giving you the last laugh. So I do have one of these. I also have, I think, an Omnilux mask, and I kind of use both. I like the Dr. Dennis Gross because it has both blue and red light, or infrared light. The blue light is supposed to help with acne. It's supposed to help like kill bacteria and that kind of thing. So if I feel like I'm dealing with some breakouts or whatever, then I like to reach for that one. I think Omnilux also sells one that is more geared towards acne now, but anyway. And then for the Omnilux one, I like that one because, I don't know, people say that the actual red light functionality is better. I don't know about that. But I like it because it has a longer cycle. So I think it's like 10 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes. So it just feels like it's maybe doing something a little bit more. And it's also flat. So you can take it traveling a little bit easier. You can put it on different parts of your body a little bit easier. So I like having both, but that's probably overkill for most people. And then next up we have the NuFace Trinity Plus Smart Advanced Facial Toning Device with LED red light attachment. Again, it's probably overkill to have both the LED red light attachment and like the mask of whatever variation you choose. But yeah, I do use this device pretty frequently. I just upgraded to the one that you see in the picture because I used to have the NuFace Mini, but they kind of revamped it, and this one that I have now has the eye and lip attachment that I still haven't really used. I think it also has like a boost feature that is supposed to be a little bit more powerful. Yeah, I do use this, especially before filming and that kind of thing. I don't know if my face looks any more kind of firm or whatever, but it also, for me, it also seems to help with like the hydration levels in my skin. I don't know if it's the gel or whatever that I use with it, but yeah, that's just kind of my own little anecdotal experience. We have a Foreo, which I have and I should probably use more often. I don't have this specific one, but I have a similar one. And then moving on to eyelash tools. So this, I just personally think they're wrong. They have the Shuamura Iconic Eyelash Curler retails for $23. And they say here that it's designed with an opening that's wider and straighter than other curlers, conforms to every eye shape, almond round monolid, and captures every lash, giving all our testers the fullest and curviest of fans. So I do have one. I've had it for probably years now. And I wanted to compare it to my favorite eyelash curlers, the Surratt. First of all, just aesthetically, I think the Surratt looks nicer, this like matte black. I think both of these are kind of Japanese style lash curlers, so that's why they're kind of flatter. But if you look at, if I can show this, they look pretty darn similar to me. Like the overall curvature look pretty darn identical. It's hard to like get a good read comparing them, but anyway, to my eye, they're pretty identical. I do like the Surratt better though, not just because of the aesthetic. I think it feels nicer in the hand, but it also opens up wider. You can see that. So it's a little bit easier to kind of make sure you get all your lashes in compared to the Surratt, or compared to the Shimura, I should say. So yeah, for my money, it's still the Surratt, and it might be a little bit more expensive, but not by much. And I think I've had this for years and I've never replaced it, so it does the job for me. Of course, for hot tools for hairstyling, we have the Dyson Supersonic. They say it produces the smoothest blowouts in record time at the record price of $400. They have started carrying the Dyson blow dryer at Costco if you are a Costco member, and I know for a time it was even on sale at Costco, so you could get some more money knocked off. And of course, you know, if you happen to get lucky with like a 20% off coupon, I'm sure it will be on sale and stuff around the holidays as well. They say that in science speak, this is thanks to its digital motor and an axial flow impeller, which together can push out 13 liters of air per second. And they say it'll dry your hair faster than the competition. Some of these categories are kind of repetitive. It seems like they have more than one winner. Like they have the Bondi Boost Sonic Air Dryer. I guess that's just more a budget option. They have the T3 Air Travel Size. They have the Brush Dryer, the Revlon One Step Volumizer. I think a lot of people have probably tried that by now. It's probably not the best for your hair compared to some other options, but it is a lot more affordable. Generally just going from like a wet to dry style while you're like really tugging on your hair is just more prone to breakage, and that dryer is also, I think, hotter than like the Dyson. Interestingly enough, they have for a flat iron the GHD Duet style. I was kind of surprised to see that they chose this instead of the Air Straight. They say, until now, applying a flat iron to damp hair meant sizzling it like a fajita. But the GHD Duet Styler has served up an entirely new approach. The low temperature plates and concentrated airflow dry hair during the straightening process, allowing you to go from wet to sleek with zero damage. So I'm not one for super straight hairstyles that often. If I were to purchase something like this, I would probably choose the Air Straight, but there's that. And then for curling iron, we have the T3 Switch Kit Curl Trio. I do have a T3 product like this. I'm not sure if it's the exact like base or not, but it does have like the different attachments that you can swap out, and I do like having that kind of functionality. So I do like that kind of approach, even though now that I have the Air Wrap, I just kind of reach for the like the air curls as opposed to the like hot tool ones. But it's still good to have, I guess, as an option. I will say that I think I'm more likely to curl my hair now than I was before I got the Air Wrap. So there's that. Yeah, and I also thought it was interesting for hair multitasker. I'm laughing because, you know, what I was about to say sprang to mind, and I thought it was a bit on the nose. I was about to say they're really splitting hairs here. So sorry for the dad joke. But yeah, they have the Hair Multitasker Shark Flex Style Air Styling and Drying System. They say it is part multitasker, part shapeshifter, part geometry lesson. The high-speed hair dryer rotates from a 90-degree angle to a 100-degree line, which is when things get interesting. Locked into its upright position, the tool converts into a self-winding curling iron, a frizz-smoothing paddle brush, and a volume-building oval brush. So I haven't tried this. You know, I think for me personally it would be kind of a waste of money since I do have the Dyson, but I know there are a lot of people who've compared the two. What stands out for me the most about this is that it still has kind of the first generation air wrap curl attachments that you have to kind of switch them out to go in different directions. It'd be interesting to see if Shark kind of updates that. I do believe Shark might be sold at Costco now too, this little set, so always worth checking out. It's also intriguing to me that I guess what they call the volume building oval brush, that looks a lot like the Revlon brush head or whatever, and I guess I do enjoy that style of brush head. If one dropped in my lap, I would gladly try it out, but I don't think I'll be shelling out the money on that. Moving on to hairbrushes. So the best hairbrush detangler is the Tangle Teaser, the Ultimate Detangler Plant Brush. This one is specifically, I guess, plant derived, which I don't think really makes a difference to the performance, but yeah, I do want to try this out. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. I'm sure he's on TikTok too, but he has wavy / curly hair, and he does this thing where he like combs through his hair when it's wet and then kind of twists it around the handle. So I just kind of want to try that technique. I do have a Tangle Teaser, but it's like one of the kind of original style that's just, it doesn't have a handle, it's just in your hand kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of on my list to try out. It's not super expensive. I just haven't gone to the effort of picking it up yet. Okay, so that's that. We have the Kristen S, the French pin set as a hairpin. I think I've gotten one of these from Kristen S before, and I was never really able to make it work in my hair, but I'm sure there's a way. We also have for scrunchie the Slip Silk scrunchies. It's like Sally sells seashells. Yeah, I've gotten slip ones before. I've gotten other brands before. I'm not too loyal when it comes to scrunchies, I guess. And unlike pillowcases, like if it is I guess a satin, like a polyester satin, as opposed to like a silk, so that they both have the kind of same texture, I'm not too bent out of shape about whether it's silk or not. I guess I like them, but it's not like a must-have for me. For hair clip, we have the Kitsch Open Shape Claw Clip. So that's pretty. The only thing about those like metal ones is that they tend to be heavier. So I guess depending on your hair texture or style, they can just tend to fall out a little bit. So just something to be aware of. And the last thing I think I want to talk about here is the Aquas Flip hair towel. So they say it looks innocent enough, but a humble towel is a common culprit behind split ends, frayed cuticles, and ruffled edges. The Aquas Flip reduces friction and absorbs dampness without causing damage to wet, fragile strands. So this again, I think is an like updated kind of hair towel from them. I've gotten just like their, like just the rectangular type hair towels. This one is interesting because it's kind of open at the bottom, but it still has a way to kind of like tuck it in, I guess. They are very expensive for a hair towel. Like I have some Turby twists, and those work pretty well on me. I've gotten like a different variation of an Aquas hair towel on that, like the way it's constructed and sewn, it just doesn't, I don't know, I just find it difficult to keep on my head. So I'm especially interested in the newer ones because I think they have like some kind of copper thread or whatever woven into them, so that's supposed to help with bacteria, mildew, whatever. Yeah, again, that's kind of on my, I guess, wish list, you could say. So if I saw one on sale, I would probably scoop it up. And interestingly enough, I believe the founders of K18 also created the Aquas hair towel, so it's kind of an interesting legacy there. Okay, so let's go on to base products. All right, so we have the Beauty Blender Peptide Primer. Looks interesting. The e.l.f. Putty Primer. The Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. When the Best Liquid Foundation with Light Coverage. I have a sample somewhere. Yeah. That I haven't tried yet, so a lot of people have been enjoying that. Maybe the Sephora VIB sale, I'll pick that up. I did use today their Best Liquid Foundation Full Coverage, which is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin. I have it in the shade 1C, and they say, talk about a happy medium. Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation delivers the ideal balance of color and moisture so you can build coverage that's not too sheer, not too opaque, but is just right. I did put this on today, and this does have a pump, like so. I tried samples of this a few times before purchasing it. I feel like it looks good. It doesn't look great. And just for reference, I did use it over one of the other winners, which is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I almost like the way my face looked just after this before I applied the foundation, but anyway. And I did apply powder on top. So I used some of the Laura Mercier powder that we'll talk about in a minute. And I also then went in with the Charlotte Tilbury powder because I didn't feel like, I guess I was able to powder enough based on that little sample. So yeah, so I haven't done like a wear test of this foundation or anything. And I do have dry skin, but I do like to kind of set my makeup. I think it's settled a little bit maybe into my kind of forehead lines, a little bit of separation there. So I don't know. I know they don't kind of lock these winners in until shortly before the winners are announced, just based on, you know, them including newer launches. But I don't know. I mean, we'll also talk about the Lady Gaga foundation, which also won an award. I don't know between those two if I really have a strong favorite, if that helps anyone. Maybe I'll have to do a side-by-side or something. But yeah, those are my kind of non-committal thoughts on the Makeup by Mario. Next up, we have the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. This is the best concealer with light coverage. I just have a little mini here, and they say, with 3 molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, light reflecting pigments, and the thinnest consistency in the game, this Tarte concealer behaves like an eye cream, brightens like a serum, and feels like nothing at all. And they say to apply it with a dense brush or your fingers in the corners of your eyes to really illuminate the area. So I did use this over a corrector because I typically do use a corrector. First of all, I think, you know, my eyes do still look a bit dry. And like I said, I have dry skin, can have some eczema, that kind of thing. I don't know. I guess I don't feel like it does me any huge favors. Like I still had, you know, a good amount of creasing before I set underneath the eyes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of there for me. You know, it's not anything blowing my mind. But it is nice that Tarte at least gives you the option of purchasing a kind of smaller size. For full coverage concealer, we have the Bobbi Brown Skin Full Cover Concealer, which still looks like a piece of the female anatomy to me. I don't know. I'd be willing to try it, but I'm, I guess, not chomping at the bit, especially given how many concealers have just launched in the last few weeks. Moving on to Best Blush. So Best Blush Powder, the Armani Beauty Luminous Silk Glow Blush. I'm still kind of curious about these. And I almost purchased, I guess, one of them when, I guess, Armani had some kind of sale a few weeks or months ago. But I was kind of, I guess, trying to purchase the, I think there's one shade that's unique to the Armani website. So I was trying to get that one, but I think it was sold out or something. So anyway, there hasn't been a shortage of blush, that's for sure. So for Best Blush Cream in a compact, it was the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed. Again, too many names. This is a pretty affordable price point at about $25. It says the velvety texture of Danessa Myricks Beauty, whatever. They say it's made for blending and sculpting and TikToking, whatever that means. So I have the shade here in Rosé and Brunch, which I have on today, and I think I did maybe go in a tad bit light-handed. I'll just maybe put a little bit more on with the Angie Hot and Flashy A507. Very, very curious to see what they're going to be launching tomorrow, by the way. But yeah, this does fit really nicely in the pan. I don't love that it's a kind of screw-off lid, but I can get over it. So yeah, you can definitely build this up, and I think this is still a really good color for me and my skin tone. I know a lot of people kind of talked about these when they first launched and kind of what skin tones and types they were best for, but I like it. I think if you are interested in kind of more pigmentation and maybe something that's going to last a bit longer than the Mario, I think these are definitely the way to go. So yeah. So I've been liking that, and I was a little, I guess, trepidatious, is that the right word? Based on how people are describing this and it being kind of too pigmented for fair skin tones and more suited for oily skin. But as someone with fair dry skin, I like it. So I'm happy that I finally picked that one up. We also have, of course, the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand. This is going to be more expensive than the Danessa Myricks at $42. They say that the spongy tipped applicator blends like butter and blurs the saturated pigments to give you an airbrushed yet natural looking flush. So obviously this is going to be a different kind of delivery mechanism. I don't know, I kind of like this style of blush, to be honest. I just picked up more shades of the MAC Glow Play blush when those were on sale at Ulta. So yeah, I guess I just like that kind of putty formula. Next up, we have the multi-use stick, the Ami Calais Desert Date Cream. Haven't tried it, but it's always kind of fun to see an indie brand or a small brand kind of get kudos for their products. So I'd be open to trying that. In fact, I think, again, during the Sephora sale, I want to try a few different Ami Calais products. Like, I've heard good things about their powder. We'll talk about their new eye products in a minute. Their powder and their mascara, I think especially, is what I've kind of had my eye on. Their like complexion products, I don't think they make any shades light enough. But those other products I'd be interested in trying. Then we have, going back to kind of earlier in the year, for highlighter powder, we have the Rare Beauty Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter. I feel like this has kind of had a resurgence lately in terms of people talking about it. But they say that this is an iridescent pillow in the compact, a silky powder on your fingertips, and a pearly sheen on your cheekbones. Most of our testers skipped the brush, fingers only, interesting, when applying to apples, cupid's bows, and even eyelids. Okay, so I did apply this earlier with my Anastasia A23 brush, which is my kind of go-to for powder highlighters. But this is the shade Enlighten, by the way. Very, very icy white. I mean, it's definitely there. I don't know. I've not always been kind of in a super highlighter-y mood. It's like I want to kind of blend it and diffuse it a little bit more. It is pretty though. And I think they do make quite a few shades as well. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. Most highlighters are pretty. I don't know, sometimes I just prefer a liquid highlighter recently. I've been meaning to pick up, I think I have a mini of her liquid highlighter. This is in Mesmerize. I've kind of wanted to try the lighter shades in that, but I just haven't yet. Okay, so for contour stick, there were a lot of contour products in the awards, and I might film a short or a reel kind of swatching all of them just so you can kind of compare. But for contour stick, it was the Milk Makeup Sculpt Cream Contour Stick. Smoothly glides over your face and subtly plays a bone structure with cool undertones. Draw it on straight from the bullet, down the nose, across cheekbones, and along the jawline. I do like this. It's quite small, and I know a lot of people were kind of commenting on that when it launched, but it does make it easy for travel. And it's a really good tone. I think it, blends pretty well. And I have it like on the cheeks. I have it down the tip of the nose and underneath the jaw. And I blended it out with the BK 101, I believe, which is usually what I use for that purpose. So yeah, so I like this. I've been reaching for it a lot. We also have my box of goodies that I kind of consolidated. This just says contour wand, so I guess this is like a liquid contour. The e.l.f. Cosmetics Halo Glow Contour Beauty Wand. This is obviously going to be a little bit more affordable. They say with its spongy applicator, e.l.f. Cosmetics, blah, 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 Navigates easily over curves and along your hairline, delivering instant definition. The cushy screw cap tip makes for a mess-free makeup bag. I've used this, but I haven't used it a lot. I'll just do some quick comparisons. So I think compared to the Milk, it's even more kind of gray toned. And this is in the shade Fair Light. Not the biggest fan of this packaging, to be honest. I believe the Milk, yeah, this isn't toasted, by the way. So those are the first two. And then next up, we even have the Contour Palette from Patrick Ta, so kind of the product to go along with his brush. And I think this has one before, but they say if a palette is more your speed, the blah 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 is so well edited, we might offer it a job at Allure. The elegant compact houses a luminous cream for sculpting and a shimmery powder for highlighting. So I have it in She's Statuesque Light, and I keep the Patrick Ta boxes mostly because otherwise like everything just kind of looks the same. And this one has, is this the right product? So I think their copy is wrong because, yeah, that's a bronzer, not a highlighter. But anyway, all right, so a little bit of a stiffer kind of powder and bronzer. I don't know. Never really kind of fell in love with this product, I guess. But those are the two Patrick Ta. You can see there's more warmth, almost yellowiness in them. Is that it for contour? It's not, now that I'm thinking about it. So I'll just let these swatches hang out. For pressed setting powder, we have the Lawless. For loose setting powder, we have the Laura Mercier that I talked about earlier. I just, to be honest, like I 9 times out of 10 prefer a pressed powder. And on top of that, like just having such a small little container, it's just kind of hard to get, I don't know, product out on your brush and everything. So I used it. I don't know that I noticed a huge difference with it compared to like the normal or original loose setting powder. They say that the chiffon texture and amino acids work like a soft focus lens, providing a veil of coverage that obscures whatever you want it to. Blemishes, dark spots, redness. Better yet, you won't find a trace of talc and all of that gossamer fineness. Just for the sake, I can see a little bit of kind of shine on my forehead. So I'm not really sure what the packaging of the full size is like. I mean, I think anything that you powder is going to look a little more blurred, especially on camera because, you know, the light isn't reflecting off of it. I don't know. I'm not totally sold, but I'm not saying it's a bad product. Okay, so that was it for Laura Mercier, and we have some setting sprays. Okay, so that's it for base. Moving on to eyes. So their choices for eye products is always kind of odd to me, to be honest. They usually don't pick what I would have chosen, I guess. And we have a lot of mascaras here that I haven't tried. Interestingly enough, we have a few Gen C products in the awards, and I haven't heard like great things about the brand. But they have for waterproof mascara, the Gen C Spectator Sport Mascara. So there's that. A brand called Kaya Cosmetics I've never heard of. This amused me. For length, we have the L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Lift Mascara. And for the description, it says, "We went in skeptical. If you know, you know." But there was no controversy or contradiction in our testers' feedback. That was a thing, wasn't it? Yeah, color mascara. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Mascara in Dream Pop. I'm not sure if I've tried this shade or if it was called Pillow Talk. But yeah, it's a pretty color. So for eyeliner, they have a product from Mary Kay. So there's that. The Estee Lauder Beauty Smoke and Brighten Kajal Eyeliner Duo. I don't think I've tried these, but I had a similar kind of dual-ended eyeliner from when they had their Estee Edit line that I really liked. Typically, I like this style of eyeliner. Like I just talked about the Victoria Beckham and the Lisa Eldridge ones in a video. So there's a decent chance I would like those ones. But the one I did use today was the best pencil liner for color, and I used kind of their most boring neutral brown shade, which I think is called Chiku. Yeah. Fun name, but kind of boring color. And this, they say, Drawing on my usual flick takes me 15 seconds with this, says commerce editor Sarah Han of the Coffee blah blah blah. I can't believe how freaking smooth, gliding, and pigmented it is. If you prefer a softer effect, act fast, and the velvety color diffuses into the coolest smoky eyes we've ever achieved. So yeah, so it works well enough. I just don't love this style of eyeliner, but I used it today, and I mean, it works well. So if you are interested in some of the more kind of fun colors, then, you know, I think they're worth looking at. We have the Lancome eyeliner. I'm not really a big waterproof eyeliner type gal. They have another Danessa Myricks product, which is fun, and the Urban Decay ones, Revlon, another L'Oreal. For brow products, there's a Live Tinted Setting Gel. Haven't tried that one. For tinted gel, the L'Oreal Brow Mascara. I would be open to trying that one. The Kosas Brow Pop Nano. I know a lot of people like that one. Okay, so what I used today, it was a, I guess, sample size of the Fluff Up Brow Wax, and I think it does a nice job. Like, I don't think I've really ever, for the most part that I can remember, asterisk, tried a Benefit brow product that I didn't like. So I love their Benefit Gimme Brow. I've tried their Brow Setter just for kind of a clear brow gel. I do like this, and this is the only thing I used in my brows today. So I think it's going to be, you know, probably a little bit of a softer hold than the Brow Setter, but I think it looks nice. So they say that the clear formula and flake-free consistency of Benefit Cosmetics Fluff Up Brow Wax add depth and dimension while holding rogue hairs in place. Just one coat gives my brows a laminated-like look that lifts feathery hairs into place all day, night, and even into the next morning. If I were Benefit, I would come out with maybe some tinted versions of this. I'm not sure how that would be different than the Gimme Brow, but I'd be interested in seeing that anyway. So best eyeshadows. So this is what I was talking about, going back to Amicole, and I know this just came out. So this is the Amicole Lid Joy Liquid Matte Eyeshadow. Retails for $16. A lot of the Amicole products are pretty reasonably priced for Sephora. They say a fun punch of pigmented powder is how we describe Amicole's blah blah blah. A single swipe of any of the 4 liquid first shades. Doesn't make sense. Oh, maybe it goes on as a liquid and then becomes a powder, maybe. A single swipe covers our lids in creamy color that dries to a powdery finish. I guess I'd be open to trying these. I don't know that I'd really go out of my way to purchase it. I think I saw State of Kate just swatch one of them on her Instagram, and it seems like a lot of people are experiencing maybe some manufacturing issues with the product, like it wasn't filled sufficiently or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting that won. For what I'm wearing today, so I pulled out one of the eyeshadow sticks from Bobbi Brown. So the shade I'm predominantly wearing is Golden Bronze, and I just applied this without any eyelid primer or anything like that, which is kind of unusual for me. So mainly Golden Bronze. I put a little bit of Vanilla, which is like an ivory kind of color, in the inner corner, but I don't know that did too much. And then I blended everything out with the Rare Beauty concealer brush, which I really like for cream eyeshadow. It says, at first glance, we wondered if a shadow as soft and lucid as Bobbi Brown long wear cream shadow stick would even show up on our lids. But the creamy crayon deposits so much pearly definition, we've seen the light and look great in it. So it's okay. I just am not a huge person for eyeshadow sticks. So far, I don't see really any creasing. Maybe a tiny bit. I've had this on for a couple hours at this point, so not terrible. I think prefer a little bit more on the eyelids. I like eyeshadow, so yeah, it's just not my favorite type of product. But if you like something kind of more barely there. Another really odd choice, I thought, was the Rose Inc Satin and Shimmer Duet eyeshadow. This retails for $32. They say it has a pigment-rich cream for curating depth and a glimmery powder for adding dimension. The pair of shadows in Rose Inc Satin and Shimmer Duet eyeshadow work together in perfect harmony. Blend in with a brush or sweep on with your fingers for a soft shimmer finish. So, you know, toilet seat packaging aside, which, whatever. Yeah, I pulled this out again, and I was going to use it again today. I did a full kind of overview review of Rose Inc. if you want to check it out and see me apply this. But this cream, like it's not, you see that? It's just, like, I don't know, it's just really dry. I mean, there's plenty of pigment there, but it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, I just don't know what to make of this product, to be honest. Like, I have a hard time figuring out how to apply it because it's like not fluffy enough to kind of blend on with a brush, like a powder type brush, but it's not like creamy enough to blend in with like a synthetic brush. The topper shade is pretty. Like the color pairing is pretty, but yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan of this. And this is in, I guess, Satin Copper and Copper Shimmer. Is that the actual name of the shade? I would say skip it, to be honest. Like I said, as far as what I've tried from their eye category, haven't been really impressed. Maybe I just have higher standards with that. And then another odd choice, they have this Maybelline, so this is odd. It says eyeshadow palette, comma, 4 color, but there's only 3 shades in this little stack. But it's the Maybelline New York Shadow Blocks Stacked Eyeshadow or Shadow Palette. They say you don't have to live in the tri-state area to enjoy the New York City inspired blah blah blah. Forming a pocket-sized cube, the trio of colors, 2 mattes, 1 shimmer, and each of the 5 compacts with colorways ranging from deep plums to soft browns allows us to build any effect we want. Yeah, when these came out, it looked like Maybelline was trying to dupe the Kaja bentos, and yeah, I just didn't hear anyone say good things about them, so kind of surprised to see those pop up again. We have for eyeshadow palette 9 color. I don't know why they're so fixated on how many shades each of these have. But they have the Fluorosis Floral Engraving Phoenix Makeup Palette in Retro Brown. So it looks pretty. It looks a little kind of one note in terms of the depth of the shades. And I've never tried Fluorosis. I think that's how you say it. I've seen obviously a lot of sponsored videos about it. I don't know, I'm curious about it just to kind of see for myself whether people are blowing smoke or whatever, but yeah, I mean, their embossing is beautiful. There's no denying that. For 16 color, we have a Juvia's Place palette, and that's it for the, I guess, eye colors. Lots of lashes, eye jewels. I thought that was an interesting category. Didn't think there'd be that much competition. Okay, so that's it for eyes. For lips, so we have another Gen C product, the Best Matte Lipstick. Some MAC, the Best Lipstick Sheer Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. Again, it debuted in 1971. I feel like this won awards before it kind of went viral, but now it's kind of back again. So I don't really want to do my lip again, but yeah, I have it. I have it as like a sample size from time to time, and I like it. Best Lipstick Sheer, the Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Bombs. I think I've heard good things about those, so I'd be curious to try them. Sunrider, I've never heard about that brand. For Best Satin Lipsticks, the Pat McGrath Labs. Yeah, so those are a nice satin formula. The Liquid Lipstick Glossy Makeup by Mario. I feel like people were kind of not head over heels about that product from what I recall. Lip gloss, we have the Fenty Cooling Lip, Clarins Lip Comfort Oil. I've also heard good things about that. I'd be willing to try that. Glow Recipe Lip Balm. And I have also tried, I talked about I got in my FabFitFun the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. I do like this. The only complaint really I have is that the applicator is like very curved, which is fine if you just want to kind of apply it to your lower lips and then rub your lips together. But if you want to like apply it to your upper lips, it's a little bit more difficult than just like a slant, you know? So that's my kind of one, I guess, gripe with that product, but otherwise it's nice. All right, so that's it for lip. I'm trying not to drag this out too much. It looks like we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories. Good Lord. All right, so I think I'm gonna have to break this up because I feel like I'm losing my voice. So I'm gonna call it there as part 1, and I'll do a part 2. I'll just very quickly talk about, just so I can swatch it, the Tower 28. I might swatch this again later anyway, but anyway, that is the Tower 28 Sculptino in Broad. just so you kind of see the range of different contours that we were talking about earlier. The Tower 28, I think, comes up in the clean category, possibly. Yeah. Okay, so that is it for part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you want to see part 2, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.